Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, Wootini over at GayGamer.net, here with another weekly video podcast. Before I get to the actual topic I wanted to talk about this week, first I need to vent, because something happened this morning that superseded my planned topic. This morning, it's winter, it's cold, I decided not to go for a run. I said, let me just do Xbox Fitness workout instead. I'll pick something off there. Because they're pretty good. Some of them I enjoy. Some of them are kind of crap, but some of them I enjoy. So I went to load Xbox Fitness. The game boots up, but it won't load, like, the main menu. And I'm like, well, that's irritating. And, like, I reset my router thinking maybe there's something wrong. You know, the internet connection, got screwed up somehow. That didn't fix it. And I said, ugh, whatever. I mean, the first time I tried to use Xbox Fitness last year, it did not work. So I said, fine, I'll just play Dance Central. So I try to load Dance Central. That game boots up. I go to activate the main menu. The main menu won't come up. It gets just up to the main menu. The main menu won't load. I said, that's irritating. And then I'm like, oh god, like, what about Dragon Age? Because that's really important. I mean, it's good to work out and all and exercise, burn some calories, but I need to play Dragon Age. So I go to load up Dragon Age, and I can't get, the game comes up, it says press the menu button, I press menu, nothing, won't load. And I was just like, ugh. So I go on Xbox.com, and I see an alert that they are having some Xbox Live difficulties. I'm super frustrated by this. I'm also a little confused because I understand that Xbox Fitness needs an Xbox Live connection to work because you're literally streaming the workout videos over the internet. They're not on your system. So fine. That can't work. But I was like, I should be able to play Dance Central offline. And I would like to be able to play Dragon Age offline. I don't know if you can or not. I know that every time I go to play it, it tells me that I'm connecting to the EA Origin servers. I don't know if that's required. I hope not, because that would suck. But I was convinced it was an Xbox Live problem. I reset the console, nothing. I turned off the internet on my console, like I disconnected it from the internet. I couldn't play anything offline. Nothing was working. I went to the Xbox.com message boards, which are not great for navigating, and I saw someone was having a similar problem to me, but they had it like a while ago. Like, not like a long time ago, but like recently, not like this morning like me. You know, and I can see my friends list. I see one of my friends is freaking playing Dying Light, and I'm just like, okay, so somebody's playing a game. They can play a game. Why can't I play a game? Rude. So I saw that they had said that there was some kind of a problem in the most recent Xbox system update that borked something where if you have it set for the instant on, you know, where you say Xbox on, and the system just comes on and it's been like in standby mode the whole time and your game is like right there and ready to jump right back into with no loading. It's kind of awesome. But that makes it so that you can't play anything. And if you put it in the energy saver mode where you have to boot everything up every time, and you turn on your Xbox and it starts from scratch and then you have to load the game no matter what, you'll be able to play. And I was so convinced that it was an Xbox Live problem that I was like dismissive of that, and I said no. But then it turned out, I said, you know what, it's the only thing I haven't tried, let me try it. And I tried it, and sure enough, Dance Central worked, Dragon Age worked, even Xbox Fitness worked. Did a nice 30-minute workout routine, no problem. No problem at all with the connecting to Xbox Live. That's not the issue. The issue was something to do with the instant on and the energy saver mode. So it's currently an energy saver, and as much as I would like to put it back in the instant on mode, I haven't tried that yet because I'm afraid it'll just bork everything, but hopefully I can just go back into energy saver and it'll be fine. But I'd rather wait until the next update and then put it back, because why go through the hassle? I was like, my husband, he just updated his iPhone because he waited over a week, and then he said, okay, fine, I will update my iPhone with the new software, because he wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to, you know, screw everything up. Because that's what happens with these updates. They screw everything up. And this is the problem with connecting to the internet. And I've always said this, I miss the days when you could just put in a cartridge or a disc and play the game. The day that consoles connected to the internet and developers and publishers could do downloaded updates, that's when we started getting the unfinished games with all the bugs, and you had to download 20 gig updates the day of release because you couldn't just plug and play. You had to wait for downloads because they weren't finished and they found things to fix right up to the last second and even after the release. And then they're always updating the software on the consoles themselves. It's frustrating. And it's one of the things that, while people complain about Nintendo being behind the times, specifically with the internet connectivity and like playing online with your friends and stuff, they were very, very far behind the curve on that one. I kind of appreciate that. This morning, when I couldn't get anything to work, I was like, forget it. You know what? I'll just play Wii Fit U because my Wii U will work. I don't need to have that connected to the internet. It'll be fine. But this is the thing, is Nintendo, that's kind of a good thing for Nintendo to be a little behind the curve, because then you don't have all the obnoxious updates. You know, like, pretty much you buy a game from Nintendo, it's going to play. You're not going to have to download a bunch of updates on day one, usually. But I understand you want to play with your friends, it's obnoxious, it doesn't work, whatever. But the other thing that I've found annoying about Nintendo's behind the curve thing, because there have always been... It's funny, because they're so behind the curve on certain things, like, as far as graphics. The Wii was like, oh, whatever. And everyone's like, what the hell with those graphics? They're like last-gen graphics. But they also are way ahead of the curve, like with the motion controls and stuff, and everyone's like, motion controls? And then they're like, this is the greatest thing we never knew we wanted, you know? I mean, granted, sometimes the motion controls were a little crap, but in general, when Nintendo used them, they were very cleverly used sometimes, you know, and it was great. But then they're behind the curve on the internet, and you can't play online with your friends, and, you know, because they were insistent that they wanted you to play in your living room with your friends. And I'm like, we're not in elementary school, we don't have play dates, it's too difficult to get everyone together as adults to play in the same space. Let us play online. And now they are. And I mean, they're still baby steps, you know, they're learning. But what I discovered this past weekend, one other thing that they're wicked behind the curve on is storage space. Their storage space sucks. And I got the deluxe kit with the 32 gig hard drive, which, I mean, granted, you only get about 25 gigs to play with, but that's what always happens. I have been running out of space on my PS3. I think it might only be 120 gig PS3. Because of all the PlayStation Plus games, like, I will download things, and then I'll just delete them without even playing them because I want to download something new. My Xbox 360, I must have the 240 or 250. I think it's a 250 gig. I must have that one because I've yet to have to delete anything on my Xbox 360 to make room. Even, I mean, granted, I'm not downloading as much because the Xbox Live Games with Gold, they don't offer as much awesome stuff as the PlayStation Plus tends to. But still, I haven't had to delete anything. And there's a lot of DLC on that one, too. With Rock Band and Dance Central and everything. And Lips. Like, that took up a lot of space. But, like, the Xbox One, like, that has a good amount of storage space, too. But the Wii U doesn't have a lot of storage space. And clearly Nintendo was not thinking about the, you know, the downloadable games that you would be buying. And not just, you know, the Wii games or the Super Nintendo games or whatever that are like tiny little files that take up no space at all. You know, we're talking about like actual games that you want to buy and download to your system to store there instead of having a disk. And I mean, there's various reasons. Like Captain Toad, I downloaded because they sent me a review code. They didn't send me a disk. So I needed hard drive space for that. I had to delete Wind Waker for that. But like Wind Waker, I downloaded it instead of buying the disc because you could get it earlier, I think. I don't know if it was cheaper, but I know it was earlier. And then there's certain games like Wii Fit U, I'm going to download. I mean, granted, that was also a review code, but I would have downloaded that anyway because I want that in there permanently. I don't want to have to keep swapping out a disc every day when I want to play Wii Fit. So there's certain games that I'm going to play a lot, like on my 3DS. I also download things to my 3DS, like Animal Crossing is obviously something I want on there all the time, so I don't have to keep swapping out cartridges, you know. But now I feel like they're like, oh, sorry, we don't have a very big hard drive on our Wii U. Our bad. Go get an external one. On the plus side, while you're supposed to have one with a power source because it can't power it through the USB, what I did was what I had heard you could do and what a friend of mine had done and it had worked, so I went ahead and did that. I bought a portable hard drive for it was like $55, and then for like $5 I bought a Y-splitter cable, and I just plugged the hard drive, the portable hard drive, into the back two USB ports. So there's one for data and one for power. It's all good. So now I can download the Metroid Prime Trilogy, because I didn't even have 2 gigs of space left on my hard drive. I've got a couple of really large games that I've downloaded, and I needed 8 gigs for Metroid Prime Trilogy, which technically I already had the first one and I never finished it, but it's $10 for all 3 games for the first week that it's on sale. Instead of $20, it's only $10, and I'm like, $10 for 3 shooters is like, I can't pass that up. And right now I'm playing Dragon Age Inquisition, but it's good to have that as backup for when I want to play those, because I'll play them, and it's only $10. That's $3 and change a game. That's a good deal. But I also then needed to go and spend the $55 on an external hard drive so that I could have space to store it. On the plus side, I can now re-download Wind Waker and maybe get around to finishing that. That one fell by the wayside because, you know, I'd already played it and finished it, and I was just playing it again because it's my favorite Zelda game of all time. But it wasn't a priority to finish that, so I should probably kind of do that too. That probably should have been my New Year's resolution, is to finish the games that I've already started. But, oh well. But I would like to commend Nintendo for making it super easy to attach an external hard drive to the system. I've never tried to do that with any of my PlayStations or Xboxes. I know you can, and I'm sure it's just as easy. But with Nintendo, I plugged it in, I turned it on, it said, hey, you've plugged in a external USB storage device. Would you like us to format that for you? And I said, yes, please. And it said, okay. 2 seconds later, and you're all ready to go. And I went, download, thank you. Anyway, this one has gone on way too long because I just wanted to talk about Nintendo and the storage and everything, and that got short shrift because I was venting about my Xbox Live experience. So I'm going to shut up now and stop bitching, and I'm sorry that you had to listen to me bitch. And I know I keep complaining about my Xbox One like all the time, and I don't think that's a very good sign. But we'll see what happens in the future. Hopefully it'll get all fixed up and everything. And I will see you back here next week, and I'll talk about some games maybe instead of complaining. And maybe I'll have something good to say. Bye!